Well, hello, welcome again to a reading through of St. Paul's Epistle to the Romans, and I got up to chapter 10. Adelphoi, hemen Eudokia, tes emes cardias, kai he diesis, proston theon huper auton es soterian. Now we have the word Eudokia, probably come across the verb eudokio, to be well pleased. Eudokia, the abstract noun, simply means goodwill or good pleasure or kindly intent. I've noticed that some translations use the word desire, but that meaning does not occur elsewhere. The word itself does occur in the Septuagint, so it's literally brethren, and we get a men, and I can't see the corresponding det here. So again, Paul probably had something in his mind with the men, but he doesn't complete it with a de, as far as I can see there. So, brethren, the eudokia, the goodly pleasure or the good will, the good intent might be good, the good intent of my heart, and the diesis, the request to God on behalf of auton, of them, and this must be again referring to Israel, on behalf of them, leading to salvation. Again, there's variant readings here. So and there's no verb in the entire sentence, so you've probably got to put the verb to be in. It is my good intent. It is the good intent of my heart and my request to God for salvation on their behalf. Might be one way of translating it. Marturo ga autois hotitzelon theou ekusin alou kat epignosen. I bear witness to them that, or perhaps because, they have zelon, they have a zeal for God, but not according to, well, epignosen means true knowledge or full knowledge. So I bear witness that they are zealous. We would say that they are zealous for God. They have a zeal for God. This is an objective genitive here, but they do not do so with full knowledge. So something like that, but not according to full knowledge. Ag no untes gar tain to theodikaios sunein, and then kaitain, next page is idian, in brackets, dikaios sunein setuntes deisai. So for being ignorant, this is from agnoeo. You can see the roots of this alpha privative and the gun connected with gnosko, the gno. So for being ignorant of the righteousness of God and now it's setuntes, seeking, steisai, infinitive from histemi, it's seeking to establish their own righteousness. Now dikaios sunes is in brackets here. So being ignorant of the righteousness of God and seeking to establish their personal righteousness, their idion, their own righteousness. Te dikaios sune to theou hupertagesan. Hupertagesan is from hupertasso, to be subject to. This is an aorist passive. There's no theta because of the guttural root here. So they have not been subject to the righteousness of God. Telos gar nomu Christos eistikais sune panti to pistuanti. For the telos, the end or the completion of the law, and there's no verb here again, so you've got to put is Christ, well, resulting in for eis salvation to everyone who believes, to each the one believing, the present participle. next little section here, Mouses gar graphe tain dikai sunain tain ek brackets 2 nomu hoti hopoiesas auta anthropos tsesatai epartois. Now you can see from the bold here we're getting lots and lots of quotations in this section. So in verse 5 the quotation here is from Leviticus 18:5. So he says, for Moses' rights of righteousness, the one that is the righteousness which, understand, proceeds from the law. Hoti, and this is just hoti recitative here, and there's variants as well. So just put inverted commas here. Hopoiesas auta anthropos tsesatai in autois. The one having done, and then this is not in the original quotation, the outer. It's neuter plural, so it must mean something like acts of justice or acts of following the law. So the one having done these things, the man having done these things, will live in them or by them. Again, variant readings here. Hey de ek pistios dikai sune hutos lege, me epes en te cardia su tis anabasatai es ton uranon. Tu destin Christon cat agagain. I'll just pause it there. So we get another quotation in verse 6. The quotations from verses 6 to 8 are from Deuteronomy 9:4 and then 30:12 to 14. So for righteousness, understand, which comes from faith, thus says the following. For the righteousness which comes from faith, literally speaks thus, says the following. Me epes, so me plus a subjunctive is in place of imperative here. Do not say in your heart, who will go up, anabasatai, future from anabino, who will go up into the heaven, that is, kat agagain, to bring down the Messiah. This is the aorist from kat ago. Anago is to go up, and katago is to go down, to bring down, to lead up and lead down. So who will go up into the heaven, that is to lead the Messiah down, to lead Christ down. A, tis katabasatai estain abuson, tu destin Christon ek necron an agagain. Or who will go down, we've had anabino and katabino, into the abyss, that is, to bring up Christ from the dead. Now this may be a reference to the view that Jesus went down into Hades and then the so-called harrowing of hell and then comes back again. If so, it's the first mention of that in the New Testament. Again, I'll leave the commentators will have lots to say about this whole section. Alla ti lege, but what does it say? Or perhaps what does he say? Just lege, there's no explicit subject. Now in 8, again we're getting more quotations here from Deuteronomy. Engus su torrema estin ento stomatis su, kai ente cardia su, tu destin torrema tes pistios ho kerusamen. Now torrema, the word, as I mentioned before, this rema is formed from, it's a neuter third declension noun, it's formed from the root from the aorist passive of lego. So you get erathane, and the root of that is used here, meaning of that which is spoken, so it becomes a word. So, for the word is near to you, in your mouth and in your heart. Tu testin, Paul likes this, that is, the word of faith, or of the faith, if you will, which, it's neutral agreeing with Rhema, which we are proclaiming. Hoti ean homologeses ento stomati su kurion Iesun, kai pistuses ente cardia su, hotiotheos auton aigerin in eknekron so thesatai. So from the previous page, hoti, because if you might confess, subjunctive from homologio, if you confess, now it's literally in, but this en often has that instrumental meaning of with. So if you confess with your mouth that kurion Iesun, that Christ is Lord, again variant readings here, that Christ is Lord, and you believe, subjunctive again, in your heart, that God, Ageren, has raised him, eknekron, from the dead, so thesatai, you will be saved. So this is a future passive from sozo, second person singular, from so they say. Original so they sesai, and then the sigma, second sigma drops out and you get a contraction. This is the second person, so it's the future, you will be saved. Cardia ga pistuetai eistikai sunein stomati de homologetai esoterian. 4. Now we get a passive construction here, which is just really for variation. It's literally, it is believed in the heart, or with the heart. Just another way of saying one believes with the heart, or belief is done with the heart, something like that, resulting in Descartes righteousness, and, or perhaps but here, but another passive construction, it is confessed with the mouth, so one confesses with the mouth, resulting in salvation. Perhaps with regard to salvation, with the same of these. So let's do that bit again. It's a funny verse. So one believes in the heart, resulting in or with regard to righteousness, and one confesses with the mouth in regard to or resulting in salvation. Lege ga hegraphe pas hopistuon ebauto u kat iskun thesatai. Now again, this quotation, this one's from Isaiah 28:16. For the scripture says, everyone believing on him or in him. Pistuo, you get lots of different usages of pistuo. You can have pistuo plus a straight dative. You can have pistuo eis with accusative, pistuo en plus the dative, pistuo epi, as we've got here, plus the dative. There really is no great distinction. They're just different slight idioms, probably somewhat affected by the Hebrew original, because this is a quotation. So in Hebrew you would say believe on someone, and it gets carried across with the epi into Greek. So everyone, in classical Greek, you just say pistuo plus the dative. So everyone believing in him will not be put to shame. Again, a future passive here from pistuo, from katai skunamai. Uga estin diastole iudaiu tekai Helenos hoga autos kurios panton Pluton es pantes tus epikalumenus auton. For there is no diastole is a distinction, no difference or distinction, and then we get these genitives. There is no distinction for the Jew and for the Greek. 4. Understand he is the same Lord of all. Pluton participle. It means enriching, or enriching towards, so perhaps being rich towards all those epikalumenus, those calling upon him. Pas gar, and we get another quotation here in 13. This is from Joel 2:32. For everyone whoever, subjunctive here, will call upon the name of Yahweh. This is the Kuriya without without the article. So in Septuagint that generally means Yahweh. So everyone who calls upon the name of Yahweh, so Thesatai, will be saved. Future passive again. Pos un epikalesontai es hon uk epistusan, post epistusosan hu uk akusan, post akusosan choris kerusontos. Again, Paul likes to ask these rhetorical questions here, and he builds up a sort of sequence here. So for how then, and this is a subjunctive here, would they call upon he whom they have not heard? So how will they call upon the one whom they have not heard of? How would they believe, and then we've got a genitive here, on the one whom they have not heard? So it's genitive after a kuo, I think, here, and it's being attracted into the genitive. So how would they believe upon the one they have not heard? And how would they hear without the one proclaiming? Genitive participle here from kerus, so genitive after choris. Post de keruxos in ean me apostolos in kathos gegraptai hoserioi hoipodes ton euangelizomenon ta agatha. And how would they proclaim? This is a subjunctive from keruso, aorist subjunctive. How would they proclaim ean me unless they were sent? This is a passive, aorist passive subjunctive from apostello. So you get a vowel gradation, you lose one of the lambdas, and then you've got your normal subjunctive ending. So how would they proclaim unless they had been sent? As it is written, kathos gegraptai. We get another quotation here in 15. This one is from Isaiah 22:7. And you can also see the book of Nahum 1:15. How beautiful, Arioi, are the feet of those proclaiming good things. Al upantes hup ekusan to euangelio. Isaias gar lege curiae tis epistusentea koe haemon. But not all obeyed from hupakuo the good news. I was picking up euangelion from this euangelisdomine quotation here. For Isaiah says, Curia, O Lord, who has believed? A interesting word, it connected of course with a kuo. It can mean one's ear, but it also can mean a report. And here it's got that sense of that which is reported, so report, that which is heard. So who has believed our report, that which we have reported? Ara hepistis ex akues hede akoe ex akoes hode akoe diaramatos Christou, and the so accordingly, the ara, faith, understand, comes from report, comes from that which is heard, and the report, that which is heard, is through the rhematos, through the word of Christ. Again, various readings here. Alalego, but I say, me uk akusan. Now we get me uk, combination of particles. I think the double negative makes the sentence really expect the answer yes. So, did they not hear? And this must be referring to Israel. Did they not hear? Menunge, they surely did. We've had this combination of particles before. It's only in the New Testament, I think. So surely they did. And then we have another quotation. This one, verse 18 quotation, is from Psalm 19:4. Es pasen tengain exalten hofthongos auton kai es ta peratates oikumenes ta remata auton. Alalego, I'll just pause it there. So hofthongos, this is the voice of them. So their voice, this is a classical word, phthongos, their voice went out into all the land and into the borders, the perata, into the borders of the inhabited world, and their words, understand, went out into the boundaries or borders of the inhabited world. So to do that bit again, so their voice went out into all the land, and their words went out understood unto the borders of the inhabited world. Alalego me Israel uk egno, protos mause, says lege, ego parat seloso humas ep uk ethne, ep ethne asoneto parogio humas. But I say, surely Israel, did not Israel understand? For igno. Moses first says, ego paratseloso. So I will make jealous, from paratseloo. So this is a future here. I will make you jealous over, understand, that which is not a nation. So it's dative from ethnos after the epi. So I will make you jealous over that which, over those who are not a nation, over that which is not a nation. And parorgio, this is what's known as an Attic future. The verb is parorgizdo, and so the future would be parorgiso. The sigma drops out and you get a contraction. This happens very commonly in Attic Greek, and so it's sometimes called an Attic future, from parorgizdo. So it's I will make you angry over a foolish nation. Asunatos, alpha privative, and sunatos means intelligent, one who has been able to work things out, put things together. So asunatos means foolish here. So let's do that bit again. So I will make you jealous over those who are not a nation, over that which is not a nation. And then we get a nice chiasmus here. So over an ignorant nation, I will make you angry. I will move you to anger. Hazeas de apotolma kai lege. And we get another quotation here, this time from Isaiah 65:1. And apotelma is a classical word. It's used in Thucydides to mean to make a bold venture. You can see the roots of this tolma, to dare. So it means I am bold. So Isaiah was very bold, or is very bold, it's present, and he says, Hurathain en tois ematsetusin emphanes egenomen tois eme main ep eperotosin. So he says, I was found by, this is an aorist passive from Heurisco, first person. I was found among, in brackets here, those not seeking me, and literally I have become visible. So in other words, it's from Ginnanai, really I have revealed myself to the ones not asking after me. This is from ep erotao. So I've revealed myself to the ones not asking after me. Prosteton Israel lege holeinten hemeran ex epetesa tas kairas mu proslaon apethunta kai antilegonta. And he says to Israel, now the verb here is ex epetasa. This is from ek petanumi is the verb, if you're looking it up, ek petanumi, which means to spread out, to unfold perhaps, or just spread out. So for the whole day I have been I spread out my hands to a people that were disobedient, kai antilegonta, well, those who speak against me, so those who are obstinate or rebellious. The quotation here again is from Isaiah 65:2. I'll just do that last bit there. For he says to Israel, for the whole day I have stretched out, I have held out or stretched out, ek petanumi, my hands, to a people who are disobedient, alpha privative plus the patho root, so it's apathio, and antilegonta, and rebellious or obstinate. And that is the end of chapter 10.